Hello, and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henrie, and thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. I hope that everyone around you, that they are treating you so kindly and so wonderfully. And if not, take a deep breath and tell them, hey, you know what you said to me wasn't very nice. You may, a lot of people don't like to be called out on things. And I know sometimes it takes a while for us to get that courage. We procrastinate about not saying things because, like, oh, it was just one time, but that one time develops into one or more times. But anyway, thank you again for listening. And I know that's easier said than done to tell someone, you hurt my feelings. You were very rude, but it can be done. But anyway, again, thank you again. And I would really, 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 really like to thank all my listeners on the radio in Atlanta, Dallas, Hiram, Powder Springs, Douglasville, Georgia, for listening to Ticket to Life every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern on WDJY 99.1 FM. The ratings came out, and my ratings were they were beyond what I was expecting in numbers, and I thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you have many blessings for doing the kind thing of listening to me, because sometimes I know I do ramble. I don't mean to. It's just my nature. Again, thank you to all the cities in the metro Atlanta area, and thank you WDJY 99.1 FM for allowing me to be part of Straight Talk Radio. So thank you again. And don't forget, you can listen to all of my podcasts on just about any platform. Over 120 some odd platforms. Been doing this for 3 years. That's incredible, crazy to me. I am truly blessed to have such a fantastic people that enjoy listening. And I will continue to try my best to bring topics that may sound familiar to you, and remember, you are never alone in any situation in life, that there is someone somewhere who may be going through the same thing at this point that you are, or if not, that they have been through something like you may have gone through in life. So thanks again. I really appreciate you. And okay, now it's time to talk about procrastination. Are you a procrastinator? I don't know, that to me, procrastinator sounds like some villain from some superhero movie. The Procrastinator, starring Henrie. Yikes. Not a good label, but it is what it is. Procrastination means to be slow or kind of late about doing something that should be done, or delayed something until we decide, well, I'll do it at a later time. Because you literally do not want to do it. It's not one of your favorite things to do. And that could be so many things. And it could be just telling someone, hey, you know what you said to me the other day, or all the time you speak to me, you degrade me. That's procrastination, because it does take a lot of guts to get the nerve to say that. But in due time, if someone's doing that to you, I hope that you can do that. But I will tell you, I am a procrastinator. I'm not going to lie. My problem is that if I know I have to do something, and if I don't write it down, I will forget. And until usually at bedtime, that's when I think, oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to do something. I'm sure I'm not the only person that does this. I hope I'm not. But I have set reminders on certain times, alarms on my phone, and I'm so thankful that I can do that on my iPhone, because otherwise I would have missed so many doctor appointments, so many meetings, so many different events, because I literally forget. And it's and yes, it's probably age, but no, I procrastinate because they can be the most simplest task, and I just put it off. And of course, some would say that, I know this is going to sound so, I feel like so many of things that we do in life are now considered a mental health thing. Now, there is also something called a chronic procrastinator, and that is someone who literally consistently has a pattern of putting things off. And of course, again, some say it's a mental health thing. leading to underlying things such as anxiety, low self-esteem, OCD. And I have to admit, again, boy, this is like true confessions about myself. I have to admit that I think I have some anxiety. I know I do. Um, because sometimes when we may have company, even family, I get a little anxious. But I have learned about the 3 3 3s. You kind of sit in one place and you think of, I mean, I don't know if they're in order or not, but you kind of take a deep breath and you find 3 things in the room that you can look at. Then you listen to 3 things that you can hear. It can be a clock, a fan. And then 3 things that you can see on your body. So it could be your shoes, your hands, or something. And it really does help. I have tried it, so I have to admit that does work. But not only that about me, but sometimes it's low self-esteem, which is definitely OCD now, not on everything in life, just some things. I can sometimes feel like, I don't know. Like at one point at the beginning of doing the podcast, I was thinking, I don't know who's going to listen to me. And look at here. I have some wonderful, wonderful listeners that I so appreciate. Again, thank you. But yet I am pretty much a happy-go-lucky person. And I have learned that I let a lot of things just go. If a dish breaks, back in the day I would go, oh my God. And now it's like, it's a dish. Life is going on. The world's still spinning. Nothing has stopped because a dish broke. Oh, but it was my great-grandmother's. Well, you know what? Your great-grandmother was thrilled that you used it until now. So if you notice anyone at your job, or some of you may have, noticed around your job and noticed that you never are given a certain task, and it could be people that people know that you're just not really reliable for deadlines. You may get them done. That's not saying you can't do it, but they're just like, oh my gosh, if I give it to Henrie, how do I know she's going to get it there on time? So they just know you will do it at your leisure, but they have a deadline. Unfortunately, in life, there seems like there's always a deadline for something, right? To complete certain things. Heck, I have been putting off to lose weight for years. I'm not sure that I am procrastinating or I just have no incentive. So I hate that if you look at things up on the internet, it always does lead back to mental illness. It just seems like, I guess we just all have some sort of mental illness. I don't know, but I'm not making fun of it, but it just seems like anything you look up, like, oh, I've been really, doing something. Oh, it's mental health. Oh, it's mental health. So I guess if that's what Dr. Google or, any of your internet browsers or whoever you're looking through, I don't know. That's what they say. So don't believe everything you read either. So I'm not saying that it doesn't cause mental health issues, because I don't know, but the internet is saying it. Now, this is a very interesting fact. This is your lesson for the day. I know you all thought I was through with school, but as we all know, we can't believe everything we read, as I just said. But I did read, and I did look it up several times, and I read it in a magazine, that Leonardo da Vinci may have taken 16 years. Not 6, but 16 years to paint the Mona Lisa. He apparently started in 1503 and completed the painting in 1519. I don't know about you, but do you know how much I've aged in 16 years? So I guess he had photographic memory. I'm not sure. But if that's not a procrastination, I don't know what is. But of course, if she took 16 years, that painting, how long did it take? I should have Googled that. How long did it take for the Last Supper to be painted? So if you have nothing better to do, Google it, send it to Ticket to Life 022@gmail.com. And also there's a fan page now on Apple. So if you want to become a fan page, you can write me hate mail or love mail. Hopefully not hate mail, but let me know. I'm just curious. I guess maybe if I'll look that up for the next podcast. Yeah, that's interesting to me. So I don't know I mean, because I know he was older. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe he found his niche later on in life. I don't know. So I do know that I do procrastinate because I am not motivated. I really aren't. I mean, it's not, I don't know. So many will actually choose family first instead of completing some task. For me, family first is everything. I will pick my family over anything that is good. Uh, Sorry about that. Um, so let's see. I know one thing. When I have something to do, I know that for a fact I would rather organize my sock drawer over pulling weeds. I know I have over 30 pairs of socks, and sometimes you just have to organize by color or season, right? Yeah, I know that's crazy. Must be something that I needed to have in life was socks. I'm not sure. Um, Now, for some, they love to rush to complete something. So they will wait last minute. So they will procrastinate purposely. I mean, really purposely. Like they had an hour free time and they had to throw the trash. The trash men aren't coming till later. So literally, some people get an adrenaline rush to wait and get it in there that quickly. And it works for them. Hey, and if it works, it works. If it works for you, good for you. But everyone likes a good adrenaline rush, right? Stepping out the door at the 2-second mark of a meeting, beginning or getting an essay turned in right before the deadline. I know that I am guilty of that. The school I used to work for, I used to do the payroll. And I did the payroll. And I would have it turned in at least an hour before they asked for it to be turned in. And sometimes 30 minutes. But sometimes I would actually call and say, can you give me 15 minutes? Because I was interrupted a lot when I would do the payroll. But anyway, I would put this little sign saying, doing payroll, and people would make a U-turn because sometimes people just needed to ask me something or tell me something. But anyway, it was a fun time, but I would wait. So my thing was I got it there, I turned it in, and everyone got paid on time. Now, I'm not sure if that was a rush for me or if that was a panic. Like, oh my God, I got to get it there. I'm not sure what that was. But how many of us are guilty of saying, I'll do it in the morning? Raise your hand. I am definitely raising my hand. Literally, I'm raising my hand. I have had a pad of paper, pen, pencil, phone on my nightstand, just in case I need to remind myself of something I think to do the next day. But then, do you know how many times I've used it? Not many, because for some crazy reason, I think that I will remember it in the morning after I've had my 6 hours of sleep. I'm just shaking my head at this point. It's like, Henrie, what made you think you were going to remember this? See, I still have faith in myself about certain things. So I just want you to know that if you are not happy with yourself and not being able to stop being the procrastinator, there is good news. Here's another lesson for the day. We all have, I'm sure the medical field will say that's not how you pronounce it, but I'm going to do my best. Amygdala. That is amygdala. I think that's it. And the great news about this is if you choose to you want to tweak your procrastination, the amygdala amygdala is part of the brain that now studies show that you can learn new things or new tasks at any age. It is responsible for preparing us to react to danger or engage in fight or flight. Like, do I fight or do I walk away? So that's amazing to know. It engages us in fight and flight response. Now, the old adage that you have heard, I have heard, and I think I even mentioned in several podcasts, you can't teach an old dog new trick. Well, guess what? Or tricks, you can. Besides, dogs always want to please us because they're so that unconditional love. And yes, they will want to learn new tricks. Anyway, for us humans, it is called neuroplascity. That our brains we can do that. If we We can learn new things. Always wanted to learn the planet. Excuse me. Always wanted to learn to play the piano. Yes. Have I? No. But I know that I can learn. Want to lose weight? Yes. But have I? No. Um, I don't want everyone to think I'm like 600 pounds or 700. And if someone's out there listening to this and you are, I'm not. I'm just telling you, it's just in my mindset. I need health wise, I should lose weight. I don't care what people weigh. You're people. But anyway, that's for me. But if I want to do that, I can. I can, if I have done it before. But we all procrastinate again. Do I want to change my habits of procrastination? Maybe a little. I do. I have lived 66 years and I think that I'm okay with the way I am. Now, the weight loss thing, I spoke with a doctor friend and he said that so many people are losing weight quickly with the O injections. I don't want to be sued for criticizing the injections, so I won't use their name, just the letter O. I can understand why people would use it for type 2 diabetes. Hey, if I ever get diabetes and I need something that's going to help me help myself, well, heck yeah, I give it to me because I will help you. I would rather help someone help themselves by working around weight loss opposed to taking something. But unfortunately, some wacko doctors are actually prescribing it for weight loss. And honestly, if you want to lose weight in a healthy way, you really should just use your amygdala to help you with eating habits. Now, our doctor friend was telling us. Now, I don't want anyone to start freaking out. This is what he told us. And then I did look it up, and it is true. Not that I was questioning him, but that some people that are taking these injections it does have some side effects. And those using it the people's teeth are decaying. And they're losing and hair loss. Now, I don't know if it's going to continue like that. I don't know that much information. I looked it up just to verify what he said before I passed it on. But make sure to read about any drugs you're taking. I'm all about, I don't know why I am like this, but of course, maybe it's just me being me. Make sure to read more about the drugs you are taking. You know, they give you this long sheet, or you can, if I don't look at the sheet that comes with a medication for steroids when I'm sick or, anything, just read it. You don't have to read all the fine print, but read the side effects. It's because it's really important. So just take care of yourself. No, I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I just care about you. So make sure to read the label. And don't take anything that a friend says, oh, this helped me lose weight. Because I know I've done that in the past many years ago. We just can't. We just need to work on ourselves. And we know that we can. And we can with the amygdala. Doesn't that sound like I'm going, Dala, everybody holla? No, I'm sorry. My mind is going off. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so to all my fellow procrastinators, I hope you find happiness in your life by procrastinating or testing your amygdala to tweak your procrastination. Now, you know how, let's see what month this is, June. So, we had Father's Day and we had Gay Pride Month. Guess what? Fellow procrastinators, there's a National Procrastination Week every year in March. Did I know that? No, I had no idea. Otherwise, I would have been celebrating that. And I would have mentioned it so all of us procrastinators could celebrate. But I'm giving you a heads up, just like Grandparents' Day. Don't forget, that's in September. But it's for 2025. It is March 8th through the 15th. So I hope we can celebrate together in March of 2025. Or maybe by then, if you use your amygdala, you will not be procrastinating. So I'm thinking that we should go ahead and write it down so we don't forget. So I'm recording this podcast, so I'll have to write it down later. Oh no, you might have to send me an email and say, don't forget, this is the week. But until then, I think there are so many different things we can help ourselves or help others. And the one thing is, if you know someone who is a procrastinator and that's just who they are, be patient, because they're not going to change unless they're willing to change. You can't change. You know how people will always say, oh, I can change her. I can change him. I can. No, people have to have their own will to want to change things. It's easy for us to think we can help someone change, but it can happen. And this is, now that they have that the doctors and scientists or whoever have found out about neuroplasticity. Geez, it's crazy. You say something. But anyway, again, we can change. We can change so many things in our lives. It's funny because once I started this podcast, I will tell you, I have said this on past podcasts. I haven't listened to them anymore. I do it. I record it. I edit. I submit it. I'm done. I don't ever hear them. So every so often I'll go back and listen to maybe a blip of it. Geez, I've changed a whole lot. You could tell, like in that first one where I introduced myself, I was very hesitant about what was I saying. And I kept repeating myself, although I repeat myself now too. But it was interesting. So we can change. We can improve because of the neuroplasticity. We can. And that's just amazing to me. So if there's something you want to tweak in your life, really, really, always, again, you have to be in that mindset. Nobody can tell you. You may have someone say, you always do this, or compare. Oh, I hate when people compare other people to other people. Well, you're just not like this, or you're not like so-and-so. Because no, you're not. We're all individuals. And always remember that. You're an individual, and some people may not like the way you are. But as long as you're happy with who you are, hopefully a nice and kind person, I hope that you are. Because I can tell you the people of Georgia are very nice. They actually listen to this show. Again, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the metro Atlanta area for listening, and all to the listeners throughout the world that listen. I probably should put a list. It's crazy. All the countries that listen to this, they may just download it once, but all the countries at least who have heard at least one time this podcast, it's amazing. So I'm changing the subject here. If you ever thought about doing a podcast, let me know. You can let me know. I'll listen to it. But it was a life-changing thing for me. I've always had stuff to say. As you can tell. But I'm loving it and enjoying it. It's a hobby, and I love that I can affect and help people people I don't know. It's just amazing. I have a friend who has just passed away, and don't get choked up, but she had sent me a text one day and said, "You've been in my ear." all day because I miss hearing your voice. So she was listening to my podcast. So just know you can make a difference in anything you do in life. And I appreciate you again. And and another thing is, I realized I did a podcast last week on grandparenting 101, because my grandgirls are here for a month. And I think that's like my third time to do a podcast on grandparenting. I think third. I'm almost sure it is, but bear with me. I just like sharing. We change as we get older. We do change. Not that we want to change sometimes, but you have to go with the flow. And that's one thing I have learned a lot with getting older. Things will break. Things will happen, and they are out of your control. No one purposely, unless they're a maniac, breaks dishes or breaks something in your house. And you just need to remember, things are replaceable. People are not. So just remember, life is short, and use your amygdala and you can make some changes if you'd like. Again, if you would like to share any of your stories for me to share on Ticket to Life, please feel free to email me. Don't be shy. I have never gotten anyone to email me a story. I promise I will not use your name, but I know we all have a story to share. Everyone does. I would like to hear a story about how someone was in a certain place in their life. It could have been a dark place or even a good place, and how you got in or out of that place. And I'm curious because I love sharing people's stories, obviously. And I would love to hear your story. I would not use your name. I'm not one to throw anyone under the bus, because I could throw a lot of people under the bus. But then I wouldn't have any friends. No, just kidding. No, I'm not. But yeah, I would love to hear. I mean, a lot of people have, most of the stories you do hear, well, all the stories you hear are pretty much true. I may change them a little bit just to, so people don't recognize who I'm talking about. But I think people in general do. And I think it is kind of a good thing that not all my friends listen to this, and not all my family members listen to this. It's probably a good thing. Otherwise, I probably would not have friends, and I would not have family. But anyway, so if you're interested in sharing your story, feel free to send me an email, tickettolife022@gmail.com. And on Apple Podcasts, again, now we have what is called fan page, and I'm not even sure how it looks. I guess I should look at it. I think at the bottom of the podcast, I think there's a thing in it, and then it takes it to my web page, and it's because Buzzsprout is the one who submits all of my podcasts to someone. So if that's another thing, if you are thinking about doing a podcast, I'm going to give you two things. Listen to Pat Flynn or watch Pat Flynn on YouTube, and no, he's not paying me to say this. He just directed me, and watching them and taking notes. And Buzzsprout, they have made this so easy for me to do. And they are always there to answer questions. You text them, not text them, you send them an email, and more than likely within an hour you will get a response. And they are not paying me. No one is paying me to say these nice things. It's just, I want to give thanks to all these people. I want to thank you again. So until next week, if you procrastinate, that's great. If you're happy with life that way, that's awesome. So until next week, I can't wait to see you. Go find your blessings, and thank you, all my listeners, for everything. Have a great next 24 hours.